Hello, my dreamers and believers. It's your girl, Latina Raven, and this show is called On the Way to Famous. On this show, we take you on a journey with the artists. We bring them back to humble beginnings and we follow their story from dream to reality and all the struggles in between. So today, my guest has been featured in Plus Model magazine. She has her own TED Talk, How to Build Confidence. She was rated top 10 New York fashion blogger. She is the co-founder of the Curvy Con, a convention celebrating body positivity. And her motto is don't wait on your weight to live the life you want. Please welcome to my show, Cece Olisa. Hi, Cece.
Hello, Raven Doll. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here and taking the time to talk to a girl. So now let's bring you back to the beginning and tell us what little Cece was like.
Aw. Let's see. I am Nigerian. My dad was born in Nigeria. My mom was born in California, so I am a true African American. I grew up in California, and New York City is home. So growing up in California was lovely. I have two sisters. I did a lot of like performing. I went to performing arts school, so I did a lot of like tap dancing and singing and things like that. I fell in love with New York on a family vacation with my family, and I informed my parents at like 11 years old that I would be moving to New York when I grew up. But my parents are very supportive, so they were like, okay, and they supported that dream until I made it come true.
Nice. So then tell us what led to what you're doing today. So as a child, did you like fashion? Did you realize that maybe there was a body issue? Like, tell us everything.
Oh, sure. So, yeah, I've always been a curvy girl. I was a 10-pound baby. I was a chubby teen. And so for me, my being a plus size girl, I've always been a plus size girl. I've always had curves. And I always felt the lack of options and things like that for plus size women and the lack of representation. I think especially, when you're a young girl and you're like dating and you want to fall in love and you want to wear pretty clothes and you want to live this amazing life, if you don't see women like you that's happening to, you kind of get a little nervous, like, oh no, like, is it possible? So I think a big part of my mission, 67% of American women wear above a size 14. So, between my personal mantra of don't wait on your weight to live the life you want, and the fact that the majority of women are plus size and curvy, but you don't necessarily see that reflected in the areas where it could be beneficial to the majority of women, right? Between that is kind of where I found my calling, helping women build confidence and body positivity and self-love. Those are all things that I've come to really wake up every day like happy to work towards, if that makes any sense.
Of course, because you definitely got my attention, right? So then I'm wondering, when you was a child, were you running around the house trying to put on heels and dresses and learn how to put on makeup and all that?
Yes, I was definitely that girl. My mom was she cultivated my creativity in ways that I think are like really helpful and kind of show up in who I am today. So like I was allowed to play and do makeup and stuff. Of course, I'd have to wash my face before I left the house, but my mom let me, dress. She would have like silk nightgowns and stuff, and I would like wear them like they were my like ball gowns. And I enjoyed being a girl. I was excited to be a woman. Like I liked those things. So I think for me, always being able to express myself like as a girl has made me feel like my personality can kind of shine through. And I think that's probably why, as a plus size fashion blogger, being able to find clothes to express my personality and help women find clothes to express their personalities, you start to realize when you're plus size, you know, it gets a little bit more challenging to be who you are overall. I think the cool thing with like beauty and things like that is like it's more inclusive, right? So there are ways you can kind of come at your confidence through fashion and through beauty, but sometimes the resources available, depending on who you are as a woman, can be challenging, right? So growing up, I liked playing with that stuff, and then now as a grown up, I try to make it my mission to bring attention to where the industry is lacking, right? Like if a girl is a size 24 and she wants to show up like Marilyn Monroe, I want to make sure that there are outfits available that she can buy to do that, right? So not ever assuming that just because a woman is curvy that she wants to cover her body, right? She wants to be sexy. She wants to feel free and flirty and feminine and all those things. She wants to feel sporty sometimes, right? So just making sure that we can all express ourselves in the way that I could as a kid, no matter what life brings us in the journey that we have with our bodies. That's something that really excites me, and it's a big part of why I show up for work every day.
Which is amazing. And it seems like earlier on in your life, you had a really good support system. A lot of people don't have a support system and they struggle with the weight, the way they look. They don't know that they're beautiful already. And it's so sad sometimes, right? Because we need to encourage our women. You are beautiful at any size, right? And so this is why I wanted to interview you, because I am so inspired by the whole curvy con thing. I'm like, because there's so many cons out there. Oh my God, somebody created one for big girls. Woo, love it, love it. So now I would like for you to tell us what started. Which one of your, because you have many things that you do, actually. I looked you up and I'm like, this girl is busy. So what was the first thing that you did towards your career?
Oh gosh. So I'm the founder of Coco by Cece, which is a body positive beauty brand. And when I say that Coco by Cece is a body positive beauty brand, I'm saying that from a place of faith, believing that that is what it will be. I'm literally in the middle of launching the company as we speak. When I finish this interview with you, I'm going to box jars, like to put jars in the boxes so that they can go out to customers, right? So I am putting down the first brick of the foundation of a body positive beauty brand. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that because when I did my How to Build Self-Confidence TEDx, I started getting so many DMs, emails, messages from women saying, I want to build my self-confidence. I understand the steps that you're outlining, but I still kind of don't know where to start. Like, confidence is an overwhelming task to build. Even me, as someone with a huge support system, a loving family, two parents that have been together 44 years and love on me to this day, right? Like, I have so many privileges to be set up to be confident, and yet I still struggle, right? And so what I'm learning is like, confidence is not this like broad strokes thing that you like figure out and I have my outfit and I'm it and that. No, like it is a consistent cultivation of the recipes, the rituals, and the routines that make you feel good, that make you show up a little taller, stand up a little straighter, because we all have something that we feel holds us back a little bit, or maybe it really is, right? So for me, being able to build up confidence in women and to create companies that within our mission statement is the fact that 67% of American women wear above a size 14, that is my privilege, right? I don't have to walk into a boardroom and convince some CEO that plus size women deserve visibility in the beauty space. I'm the CEO and I get to decide that plus size women deserve visibility in my beauty space, right? And so I get to kind of water that seed and pray that it grows. and pray that, you know, in a few years' time when we speak again, that I can say, look at my body positive beauty brand. Like, yes, we started with one product called Doll Butter to soften your skin. We did that at the beginning, but look at what we've done and look at how we've served. So that's kind of how I approach my work. And I just hope that it resonates with the women in my community and beyond.
It is definitely a journey, right? And it's a struggle because the confidence has to come from within, right? And then it doesn't matter how many people tell you, oh, but you're beautiful. What do you not have to be confident about? They don't understand that it's an inner thing that we have to, deal with and bring it out. And so can you tell me, like, where were you the first time that you might have heard or seen something that you've created finally come to recognition?
That's a really good question. I think I think today is like we are boxing the jars of a product that I've been working on for years. And the fact that I have investors and people that support this product is because of all the work I did with the CurvyCon before that. I've been able to build my credibility as someone who serves women in a way that truly impacts them, that truly affects change, right? I feel like anybody can say like, oh, wear this dress, you'll look hot. Wear this lipstick, you'll look good. But at the end of the day, for me, what's most important is that inner change, right? I feel like love is a verb. It's an action word. It's something you do. Confidence is also a verb. It's also an action word. It's also something we can do. So if it's something as simple as looking at our morning routine, our night routine, how are we taking care of ourselves on a daily basis? You could probably tell me everything you do for everybody else in your life. What do you do for you that is so like you are the first priority in that moment? And for me, self-care has tended to be a really good place for me to start in my own life, paying attention to what do I do for me and how do those things make me feel? If I take care of my face, if I take care of my body, do I feel a little bit better when I walk out into the world? Do I feel a little bit more confident? If those little things can add up and make a difference over time for me and bring me to like being an anonymous blogger who didn't even want to show her face to what I do now, I would hope that even a fraction of that could happen for somebody else through the products and productions that I create.
Right. Yeah. So you mentioned you didn't even want to like show your face and stuff. So the confidence had to build over time. So then if you can like go back and talk to your younger self right before you started doing the blogs and all that other stuff, what would you say to her?
I think the funny thing is, a lot has changed from me being an anonymous blogger to like what I do now. Like I am very honored. Like I've modeled for Nike. I've helped Lane Bryant launch their activewear. Like I've walked runways during Fashion Week. Like I've done amazing things. But that core baby Cece, like what you asked about before, like she's still, it's her that's along for this ride, right? And so I think that something that's important for us all to realize is that like our level of confidence, it's okay for it to fluctuate, and it's also okay for us to nurture ourselves as what's needed for that day. If I'm having an amazing day, I might not need a little bit of extra love or whatever, right? But looking back on that younger self is the same way that I have to look at myself today. Confidence isn't something that you just like acquire and you just have it forever. Confidence is something that you have to cultivate daily in different ways. What worked yesterday might not work today. You might look in the mirror yesterday and give yourself a good self-talk and be like, you know what? I am that girl. Like, I can do it. And then the next day you're like, I don't even want to hear it. Like, I need something else, right? And it's okay. It's okay to have to mix it up sometimes. It's okay to have to level up how you do your confidence sometimes. And I would also say that like the things that have been really painful for me, like being able to bounce back from those things, being able to bounce back from rejection, from hurt, from pain, those things also really help me build my confidence. Nobody wants to go into something knowing that you're going to be rejected, knowing that it's not going to work out. But every time that you can kind of pick yourself up, dust yourself off, okay, I learned, I won't do that again. I still want to do that, right? Like figuring it out, sifting and sorting. that to me also builds a lot of confidence. I'm a Christian, and there's a scripture that says, a longing fulfilled is the tree of life. And it's like, for me, what that means is like, sure, out of 10 times, 9 times it might not work out. But that one time that it did, I can look back and say, like, okay, CurvyCon worked out. So my body positive beauty brand will find success because I found it in serving women in this way in fashion, right? For some of us, okay, I applied for this job. It didn't work out, but I met some cool people, I got some good feedback, and now I know a little bit more of what I want, so I'm gonna try again the next time, right? Okay, I got my degree. Okay, now I wanna go and do something else and start my business. I can go and take a little course, get myself caught up. I am a self-starter, I am a learner. So being able to look back on the things that we have done well and using those things to like fuel ourselves forward, those are the things that I would tell my younger self. Like, don't forget all the good things that happen. The bad things are so easy to remember. The pain sticks with us so easily, but there are wins along the way, and we have to acknowledge those too.
Yeah, well, when you speak it into existence, like I like to say, is pretty much you making it happen. You're building the foundation. So now it's kind of like a template, and then you got to follow that and fill in those blanks. And as you go, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations and pains and stuff like that. And I think that the biggest thing is that people are afraid to fail. And I tell them, don't be afraid to fail
I'm afraid to
because
fail.
that's going to build you up. It's gonna build you up, you know, and it builds the foundation for you to come out on top later on. And you got to look back and appreciate stuff like that, right? I know that's all you, girl. I know that's all you. So then now my next question is, could you tell us how and you came up with the concept of a curvicon? That's amazing.
Yeah. So for me, you know, service is always at the heart of what I do. I have a really, really warm and loving and compassionate community online. People meet me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you have this many Instagram followers. Oh my gosh, you have a blue check mark. Oh my gosh," right? And it's like, for me, that means nothing if I'm not making an impact. That means nothing if I'm not serving those people. Like, I would like to think that the dolls who follow me, that they do receive from me, that they do walk away from the content and the engagement and the comments and laughing with each other. And, I comment back, I DM back, and I would hope that from that, there's growth and there's progress and there's confidence built in each and every one of those women. I think that CurvyCon came from that same desire. I started thinking about how, as a plus size fashion blogger, I got the carpet rolled out for me. I got the best clothes. I got all the invitations to the parties, but it's like, oh, because I'm a cool curvy girl, I'm getting this treatment. But when I was just an everyday curvy girl, just out and about, it didn't feel this warm, right? So how can I recreate that feeling for my community? You don't need to have a bunch of followers to feel good around me. You don't need to have a bunch of clout to come and have a good time in New York with me. So the CurvyCon became my way of like expressing that for women. Now with Coco by Cece, it's more about the one-on-one interaction. So CurvyCon, thousands of women come to New York from around the world. It's a different investment. It's a different experience. Like, it's a very high level. It's during Fashion Week. You got Lizzo there on the red carpet. You got Venus Williams speaking, right? Like, it's very what's the word I'm looking for? Like glamorous, or you were at CurvyCon. I don't know. How would you describe it?
Oh my God. So first of all, walking in, for those that don't know about CurvyCon, I'm only going to speak on my experience. Okay. So walking in, first of all, it was by the West Side Highway, I remember. So I was like, okay, this is in the middle of nowhere. Let's see how this is going to turn out and stuff. I go in, I see a big table. They have all the VIP gifts there. I couldn't afford VIP at the time, girl, but it's okay because the stuff you had there was really good. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let me just see what this is about. You had a whole DJ play music, and then everything was set up almost like, I want to say like a red carpet event, because you had media, you had like backgrounds, you had like professional pictures, you even had a booth of girls that were there in their underwear. And I was like, yes, oh my God, I love this. So I'm walking around, I'm seeing people, you even had celebrities in there, but I was like, okay, let me just continue on, right? Because I'm here for a reason. You had vendors that was selling clothes that actually fit. I was like, a girl was like in heaven at that moment. And I was like, I want to be a part of this so bad. It took me many years to contact you, but that's another story. And I was there and I'm walking, and you have all these varieties, right? So it's not just one thing, it's not centered on just one thing. You had everything from clothing to makeup, you had music, you had food. I'm just like, well, damn. And it was an amazing experience for me. I only got to go to one, and then the world shut down and stuff like that. But yeah, yeah. So we're
So,
rebuilding, and I cannot wait for your next one because I am there.
so I have to ask you, when you were in the middle of that, like, how did it make you feel? Like, how did you feel?
I felt great because I was like, well, I am surrounded by my own people. That what it made me feel was acceptance. That's the word, right? Because I'm from the Bronx, I'm Latina, I'm all this stuff, right? And I'm a big girl, but I'm smaller on top than I am on the bottom. So it's a little hard. And some people be like, oh, you're pretty. And maybe if you lose some weight. And I'm like, no, no, I like it. I like me the way that I am. And so this place, when I went there, I was able to be me and be accepted exactly the way I was. I didn't have to change. I didn't have to sugarcoat. Like, it was amazing, and I want more of it, girl. You got to bring it back.
So I feel like, thank you for sharing that with me. That's like, it means a lot to me that you showed up and like, I'm hoping I can come see you in the Bronx someday. Um, so I think with building Coco by Cece into a body positive beauty brand, that feeling that you're describing, right? Like that is, I want women to feel as close to that as possible every single day. And I can't throw a party with Lizzo every single day, right? Like I can do that a couple times a year here and there. And so in the in between, where do we find acceptance? Do we find acceptance in our pretty soft skin? Do we find acceptance that people aren't telling us, oh, you need to lose weight, but they're going, oh, girl, oh, your skin is so soft. Like, oh my gosh, like, where do those moments of acceptance happen, like in our daily lives? So that's why when I was exploring body positivity through beauty in my journals, I started really thinking about even myself. Like, I spend like the whole like big girl with the pretty face thing, like everybody has that conversation, right? How much time and care am I spending here? How much time and care am I really spending here? How much am I really loving? If I say I love my body, are the actions I'm taking every day reflecting that? Like, am I making sure that all my skin on my body, or am I just kind of like, oh yeah, like that thing, like that separate thing from me, right? So bringing that acceptance into like an intimate space one-on-one with ourselves, I feel like by the time the next big event happens in New York and we're all partying together and maybe you're the DJ, I feel like if we're all doing that work behind the scenes, by the time we get together, it's only going to elevate. It's only going to raise the vibration. The confidence is only going to grow. And then my biggest mission is that then women would leave those events, leave from taking care of themselves in the morning, and take on the world in a new way. That's why I say don't wait on your weight to live the life you want.
And I love that. I was going to ask you next, like, how did you come up with that motto? I love that so much.
I I I was talking to myself. I am talking to myself. I can remember feeling like, oh, I would do that once I lose weight. oh, I'll go on that vacation once I lose weight. Oh, I'll wear a bikini once I lose weight. I'll go on the apps once I lose weight. Like, and it's like, if you, in my TEDx talk, I talk about identify your perceived obstacle and then imagine what your life would look like if that obstacle disappeared, right? So some of us, our obstacle, we're too sharp, we're too dark, we're too tall, we're too thin, we're too big, we don't have a butt, we have a butt, we don't have boobs, we have too big boobs. Like, we all have a perceived obstacle. And in our imaginary world, that is the thing. If I wasn't this, my whole life would be amazing. And it's like, okay, so let's take that off the table. What would you do then? Right? And so looking at don't wait on your weight to live the life you want. That is where my stepping out into the world, not being an anonymous blogger who was hiding anymore, right? Those things kind of pulled me out. So don't wait on your weight is the message I need to hear. And it continues, the beauty industry is inclusive from a color perspective, but there is not a lot of size diversity in the beauty industry. So when you walk into these beauty stores, like, unless they're selling you something to change yourself, when are they ever talking to us, right? And so that's where my passion for creating a beauty brand and a beauty community that acknowledges that 67% of American women wear above a size 14. So then what does that look like? What do your ads look like? What do your models look like? Like, what does that look like? So that's what we're doing now with Coco by Cece, and I'm really excited. Doll Butter launches today, so it's happening.
This is so awesome. I can't wait. So now tell us, how did you get on Plus Model Mag?
I will say, if being in magazines, specifically like Plus Model magazine or any others, like, I've had some amazing press over the years, like Vogue, InStyle, like really good stuff. Plus Model Mag was one of the first magazines that really like paid attention to me, like brought me on for shoots, like would, some of my first on-set hair, makeup, styling, we're doing this experiences were with Plus Model Mag. And a lot of that was relationship building, which I think you're doing a great job of that, even reaching out to me and doing that. And then also taking pictures of myself and putting them out there. So if you're interested in being featured in something like that, I think being able to capture yourself the way you want to be seen is really important. And then as people start to respond to that, then it's like, oh, okay, like, let me do a little bit more of that. Or let me, send a note and say like, oh, I love what you're doing. If I can support everything you're doing, right? I also think at the time, Plus Model Mag had a hashtag. I don't know if they still do, but if you use the hashtag, then they would maybe feature you, right? So sometimes brands might feature you, and if your photo gets a lot of engagement, they might be like, oh, dang, like the girls really love her. Like, let's see what else we can do with her, that kind of thing. But it was definitely baby steps. And also, like, living in New York, you have a great advantage because there are opportunities and like events where you can go and like meet people. So going to events and not necessarily being like, hey, I want to be in your magazine, right? But like something I like to something I learned to do from one of my mentors, because one of my mentors said it to me and it just felt really good. It's like, oftentimes everyone is asking for something. Hey, can you do this for me? Can I get this from you, right? Being the person that's like, hey, is there anything I can do to support you, right? Like, is there anything if there's anything I can do, a share, a retweet, if you need me to show up somewhere, happy to. Sometimes just offering support makes people feel like you're in it for reciprocity, not just to take what you can get and move on to the next. So I think in the plus size community, there's a lot of reciprocity. There are a lot of amazing women who have their communities, but also happily collaborate with other women in other communities. So that's what's been helpful for me in my career, and continues to be. And I think you're doing a great job of it. I feel like that's why we're here, right? Because you're doing the things. So
yeah. Thank you. No, because I want to rep too, and I love this concept. And I watch now. I have like my page full of like plus size everything, right? Because I love to see myself in somebody else. And now there's a market for plus size men. I'm loving it. I am loving every minute of it. The BBWs, oh my God. So I try to attend as many BBW events as possible and just, get out there and let everyone know that you are beautiful regardless. So, because there's a lot of people kind of struggling, with their inner selves and stuff like that. And so whether it's me making them laugh, whether I reach out to them and be like, hey, let me throw you a party. I'm a DJ. Let me throw a party for one of your events. You don't even have to pay me. I just want to be a part of it, and, I get out there because I really love this. And a lot of us, especially minority women, we need to uplift ourselves, right? So I'm all about that. And I was like, girl, when I heard about you, I was like, oh, I love her already. I have to get her on my show so we can do this together. So yeah, that's why we're here. I love everything that you're doing. So tell us what's next. What's other than what you already told us. Maybe try telling us something we don't know yet.
Oh my goodness, something you don't know yet. So the plan for Cocoa by Cece is to launch with Doll Butter, which is a skin softening body butter. It's called Doll Butter because I call my community dolls. To be a doll has nothing to do with being with how you look. It has to do with like how you feel. Are you a compassionate person who gives love and things like that? So the women who follow me tend to have those qualities. They tend to be dolls, like people that just make you feel soft and warm and fuzzy. I'm excited to say that the response to Doll Butter, like the sales so far, have been above our expectations. So my investors have already approved for me to expand into other products. So I literally just this morning got a batch of recipes back from the lab. So I wasn't sure if Doll Butter was going to be it or if we were going to be able to really diversify into the body positive beauty brand that I visualize. So as of today, we are going to expand and have a suite of products. I pray within the year we have at least two, and maybe within the next 18 months we have three. So that is something that I have not said out loud before, and I'm saying it to you now. So that's very exciting to me, and I'm committed to being the founder of this brand, and it feels really good to explore body positivity like this.
So when people come up to you and they're like, "Oh my God, you made a change in my life, and you made me feel like this," and does that humble you? Like, how does that make you feel when people are loving you?
That's a good question. It makes me feel grateful to God. I think that not all women who look like me are embraced the way that I'm embraced. And I think that my prayer is that the more that I am embraced and the more that my brand and what I do is put out there, that then any woman who looks like me on the street wouldn't have to deal with some of the things I dealt with in my earlier times before all the hard work kicked in. So I do this work for curvy chocolate colored girls, for curvy, Boricuas from the Bronx, like whatever it is. So that, I know what it feels like to have the way you look associated with something that doesn't feel like you. For people to look at you and assume things about you that are not true, right? So for me, I feel incredibly honored that I get to be the one to try to take a swing at this from this approach, right? I like to do things that no one's ever done before, but it's really, really hard work, and it takes a lot of gumption and it takes a lot of commitment because you need other people to believe as well so that they'll invest, so that they'll give their time, so that they'll follow, so that they'll make a purchase. And the more that those things happen, then people believe. People don't believe from the beginning until it's done, right? I'm the one that's had the vision. I'm the one that's been journaling about this quietly since I was a teenager, right? And so to see it happen now is only because of the community that loves me. So because if they vote yes on what I want to do, that is, that vote and God's vote works for me. So
And
I
you also
do.
have to fight through the no's, right?
Yes.
Because
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of that. There's definitely, I have a saying, because I'm also a life coach, but I have a program that involves music, right? So I don't do life coaching like everyone else does. So I have a saying. I turn a no into an on. So a no means like negative objection, and you turn that negative objection into opportunity for negotiation.
Come on,
So it's never a
somebody.
no for me, it's on.
I
So
received
I get it,
that.
girl.
I
I get
love
it.
that.
I love this. I love this. Thank you for spending the time with me, for being on my show. Thank you for all that you do. You are very much appreciated. We need someone like you. So, hats off to you, my dear. Thanks again. And for my viewers, you already know, hit your girl up if you want to come on the show and tell your story. Until then, stay safe, stay humble, and as always, do it with me, girl. Do it with me, girl. Stay fabulous.